Hi everyone, so you're joining Nathleoni, playing some Terraria Master Mode 1.4, the new update that's just launched in the last couple of weeks, I believe. This is take 2 of our episodic gameplay, as I did film a first episode of my new character Billy Bob, and unfortunately the audio for the mic was absolutely atrocious. So with being quite new to streaming, still figuring stuff out, still trying to work out kind of settings and what sounds good and what doesn't sound good, and with no followers it's hard to know that when I'm in the stream. So I'm going to be playing with settings, and if things are wrong I figure it out as I go. But I'm also going to be uploading this to both Twitch and YouTube to essentially try and get as much feedback as possible on the quality of the stream, and whether it's something that as a viewer you would enjoy watching episodes done in a similar way, or with like tweaks and stuff like that meets kind of the needs of the viewer. So yeah, we are going to be starting a new Master Mode play. For those of you who have not played Terraria, essentially it is a 2D platforming game that has a difficulty curve that is very, very steep. So it's an extremely difficult game that teaches you a few of the core basics as you make your way through the beginning. So quite a slow, steady beginning, and then literally off a cliff in terms of difficulty. So yeah, with these episodes, what I'm going to try and do is a bit like a let's play, is just go through it how I would usually play. No kind of walkthrough or tips and stuff like that where I'm showing you like individual things, but more just how I play the game, and therefore how a real playthrough would look. Things are going to go wrong. I'm going to die lots of times. I'm going to scream a lot. I'm probably going to lose my temper at the game, but that is all part of the game. That's the fun of the game. So if we go into a single player, we have Billy Bob. Now I did unfortunately get some items on my first playthrough, and I think it's only fair, as you can see, played for 2 hours. I think it's only fair, unfortunately Billy Bob, I'm getting rid of you, and we're going to start fresh with the new Billy Bob. Let's pop some clothes on him. I do like the eye colour to be blue. I don't know what it is. Everything else can just change later. I like the tufty hair, that's looking cool. So let's go in with Billy. Senor Bob. Billy Bob. Submit that. So when you do first load up a Terraria game, if you are new to Terraria and you've never played this before, it comes with some kind of built-in difficulty modes. So you've got things like Journey, and what this is looking at is a more creative playthrough, so allows you to start with extra equipment and also gives you a much more relaxed game. So it's, yeah, a lot nicer. We then have Classic, which is just literally the classic way from all the years that Terraria's been going. It's always been kind of the core difficulty scale, and that's that when you die you drop money on death. Now money is extremely important in the game, and so it's still an incentive that even though it's the third from the bottom in terms of difficulty, it's still really, really difficult, because you've got to go and get your money back if you do die in game and drop it somewhere. You then have medium core, which is dropping all the items that you have on your body as well as your money. So that is, as you can imagine, very difficult if you just put together a load of gear and a load of like really, really awesome stuff, and then one attack and you're out. Then all your gear drops on the floor and you've got to go back and get it. And then with hardcore, one we're going to be avoiding is characters die for good. I want this to be like an actual series, so if we were to get to the end of the hour that I've got planned today for this stream, and our characters died, then we can't continue. So I'm going to be going in with Classic, keep it simple, and create. Now we've got Billy Bob ready. I'm going to play. I do have another world. I've been playing just to have a feel of the new update, and to try and kind of get my head around all the new additions, because I've been playing Terraria for years and years, and I think that this update especially has been one of the best additions. It's upgraded and in so many ways. It's just such an awesome update. So before I got into like the streaming side of it, I did want to have a play around with it myself and just kind of see what new stuff is there out there. There's still loads I've not seen, so you might see some surprise looks when I'm making my way through the game. But we're going to create a new world. This is just the title of the world. It doesn't really bear much of a doesn't bear much of a difference when you're doing this. It's just a way of identifying it. Nation of grandmothers. So we have crick of herbs, the wary armpit of creepers. Love it. Although slight reference there to Minecraft. Nauseating desert of silver, fallen abode of spurs, the dream of mystery. Let's pick. There we go. The dry patch of skill. I like that. That's going to be quite representative. So each level will be given a seed. This is good for if you're wanting to check in certain worlds, find certain items, and then maybe revisit those worlds to get those items in another playthrough. You can use the seed of that world then to revisit and to go back. I'm going to be going in with a large world. We're going to be changing it to master. So with your difficulties, I know we just looked at the different difficulties in the previous screen. They're only related to the death side of it. With this difficulty, this is looking at the difficulty of the loot system and also difficulty of the enemies and the bosses as well, that part of the game. With Journey, as I mentioned before, it's very, very relaxed, creative, nice. Classic, standard. Expert, difficulty jump on everything. Master, the brand new one to 1.4 that's just been released recently. As it says, game over, man, game over. Brutally hard. I want to really give this a go, make it all the way to the end of the game. I've never actually beaten the last boss in the game, and it would be awesome to beat the last boss on this difficulty with some of the new additions they've put in the 1.4 update. So you've then got this bit at the end which has corruption, crimson and random. So this is the kind of the evil part of the game. You're going to come across areas of the game that have evil like spawn, evil enemies within them, and you get a choice of the kind of the nature of those evil enemies. So you've got corruption, as it says, disease-like corruption is guaranteed to be present, and then you've got crimson. With the corruption, it's kind of very dark, dingy, very, as it says, like disease-like. That's a perfect way of putting it. With crimson, it's more like there's blood everywhere. So like everything is represented in kind of a blood way. So there's a lot of enemies that are kind of gooping mess of flesh, and with the corruption, they're more just like monsters. I really like the corruption, so I'm going to be going with corruption for this. If this turns out to be really popular and people actually start enjoying watching the videos, then we'll do Crimson Worlds or Corruption Worlds or whatever it be. But for the first playthrough, we're going to go with some corruption. So creating that, it's going to put together the world. So when we begin this, because it's master mode, the onus for me is making sure I've got somewhere to live, because there's a day and night cycle built into Terraria, and at night enemies come out and they are brutal. So there are zombies in the game, there are flying monsters in the game, and if you don't have a safe place to live by the first night, chances are you're going to die. Now, it's not a problem because death is a big part of Terraria. Your character is going to die a lot, like loads, and you kind of got to get to grips with that from the beginning. If you're wanting to do kind of like single playthroughs, don't get me wrong, some people I believe have achieved it. You can probably YouTube those or Twitch those, and people who dedicate it, but it is a lot of stress to go through the game with one life. And for me, it takes out the enjoyment, because for me, streaming and kind of making these videos is going to be just about documenting and hopefully creating a community of people who like talking about the enjoyment of games and the beating the games in fun, exciting ways, as opposed to just the stress of having to meet a certain criteria and having to do it a certain way just because someone says so. So yeah, almost done. Once we load in, it puts you in the middle of the map, and it's kind of like off you go. You've just got to figure it out. So we've got the dry patch of skill, love it, we're going to play that map. And here we go, we're off. Now with your settings, when you first load in, your zoom is usually like this, and I'm not a big fan of this distance. I don't know why. I like it to be a bit more close, a bit more personal. Now that may change throughout the game, because for things like boss fights you want to be able to see a bigger screen, but for the beginning of the game, which is kind of just getting to know the game and making your way around, I really like the closer kind of view. I don't know why. I feel like it seems better. It might be because I came from the Xbox Terraria as opposed to PC, which is what I'm playing on now. And with Xbox again, it was always closer. So I'm just going to start chopping down some trees. The point of chopping down trees, as you can see, is it gives you wood. It also gives you acorns. Acorns is just a simple way of helping to replant trees, so that you have got further wood, for chopping and doing that at a later time. But the point of the wood is I'm wanting to build. Now, the building aspect is going to be to build some houses, because as we mentioned before, it's going to get pretty bad at night, and it would be ideal to have something put together before the first nightfall, ideally. Now, as you can see, there is a health bar in this game, up at the top, and just from the first enemy in the game, there's a slime, already took almost half of my health. Not great. Oh, sugar, I might end up dying to the first couple of slimes. Let's get rid of those guys. I'm going to chop down these trees, create like a bit of a platform. Wow, 2 more slimes. Create a bit of a platform or a stage for these first houses. Oh wow, yeah, about to die. See, I go really quiet when I'm trying. As soon as I talk, bam, ow. Yeah, so as I said before, death is a big part of this game. You do drop your money, because that's what I've got the difficulty set to. And if an enemy does pick up that money, so as you can see the little green slime had a bit of a shiny tint to it, you have to kill that enemy to get your money back from what it's stolen. So only 65 copper, I know it sounds like a tiny amount, but at the beginning of the game, every bit of cash is useful. In which case I will fight tooth and nail for it. So we've got ourselves a little staging ground. I'm going to try and flatten this ground out, and then we're going to get cracking on our first little, just hammered away that blooming tree that I planted before. Our first house, which is then going to act as our kind of base for the first night. So I keep it simple with my building. You're going to notice that if you're watching. I always start with kind of a square idea. I do like it to be tall. So like a little bit of movement inside the building. I don't want it to be a crown, like a caged hen. And I'm just going to hammer away, so pickaxe away the 2 sides. Let's get rid of this. And then we're going to set up, so pressing escape, sorry, brings up your inventory. And you have craftable things that you can craft just with what you have on you at this point. So you, right now, because I've got silver, I can make 100 copper coins out of that. I can make a workbench because I've got 10 wood. I can make platforms, I've got 1 wood. And I can make torches because I've got some gel that I got from killing those slimes, and a piece of wood from chopping down the trees. I'm going to make a workbench. And as you can see, the workbench, it opens up more options for what you can then make. I'm going to be crafting some wood armors. I know it looks really poor, but at the end of the day, having something is better than having nothing. So I'll put some doors on this thing. Sorry, bunny, you're probably going to die into that slime, and that's my fault. See if we can get you in. No? Oh. Stupid bunny. So let's hammer away here. Just fill this gap with some dirt. Oh, in fact, what am I doing? So I'm going to just replace those blocks with wood. One thing that, for those of you who've played Terraria for a long time and are just kind of chiming in to see this stream, you'll notice the change in the music. I love it. You know, at a time there was only one main music throughout the whole overworld, or like above ground, and you know, I did like it. I thought it was great, but it did get a bit repetitive after a while. They've created so many different soundtracks for different types of weather and different types of biomes and all sorts that you're going to come across. So I think anything that keeps it fresh is a win in my book. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just filling this back wall. In order to make a house, you have to meet certain criteria for it to be a livable home. So you need to have walls, obviously. You need to have a back wall. You need to then have a chair and a form of table. Now, a workbench does count as a table, in which case you don't need to put down a separate table to meet that criteria. You can leave just the workbench. You also need a light source, so you can't just let your people live in... Oh wow, that slime is on a balloon. Another new addition to 1.4 there. That is awesome. Get some more gel from this thing. Okay. So we can create our chair. Let's just pop you down there. And we can also create some torches. Boom. And boom. And then what you can do is on your escape room, on your escape key, you will then have your sidebar here, and you have housing as an option. You can pick housing query, and this just allows you to check the suitability of any house that you have created. As it says, this housing is suitable. When you have people living with you, so for example, we have the guide, this guy over here, what's his name? Wyatt the guide, because it's a livable home, he can then move into this home, which is great because it keeps him safe at night and also then gives him somewhere to live. The more houses you build, the more people are then invited to come and live with you, and it's not just because you want to make a community, it's because each of your characters that moves in brings with them a slime that kills you. They bring with them options for things like bartering, so you can buy off them, and they also offer you a very minor, especially in master mode, but a very minor defense against enemies. As you can see, just simple as the guide, he's got himself a bow and arrow, sorry, and he's providing some support there in killing the slimes. So yeah, the more people you've got living, the better. Okay, that gravestone does not want to move. That's going to serve as a reminder for the rest of the stream that I died today. Awesome to see. But we've now got him moved in there. So we've got a house for tonight, which is awesome. The next thing that I've always found is important is to just have a bit of an explore. So I'll have a look left, have a look right, see what you've got going on. What you will notice is that when we talked about those evil areas before, those are going to be on either side of your base. Now, what are you? He's got killed by a dandelion. Love it. 4 silver. I've got to go and get this angry dandelion with 150 health. It's got 50 health more than me. Come on, dandelion, let's go. Let's do this the way it's supposed to be done. This stream's going to look terrible when I upload it, but you know what? It's worth it. Totally worth it. If the feedback I get from views is don't take on a dandelion, I might lose my mind. So we're going to go the other way. Dandelion is it's quite the foe, so we'll have a look the other way, see what's going on. Master mode is difficult. Something that they've added as well is the ability for you to shake trees, and certain things will come out. So it's always good just to give. I mean, look at that, 16 silver just dropped out of a tree. I don't know why someone would choose a tree to hide their possessions like silver, but they have. It's always good just to give them a little check as you're going past. Ladybugs as well. These, I believe, represent some kind of good luck, but I've not read too much into that. There is a luck factor to the game that influences your ability to find certain things, be them rare items or things of that nature. Well, you know what, we'll get some more wood whilst we're here. But I've not read much into that. It's an addition again to the 1.4. I guess it's actually really good, because I've been playing Terraria for like 7 or 8 years, and the one amazing thing about Terraria that beats most of the games, because I also play VR games and I play first person shooters, the reason why I keep coming back to Terraria, and I can confidently say Terraria is my favourite game of all time, is because it just keeps you on your toes. The quality of the content that they not only add to the game, and kind of the expectation that Terraria has of the people that play it, it's so hard to deny the brilliance. And you know, you're probably watching this if you've never played Terraria before thinking, this doesn't look too hard. And you know, I could probably do this easy peasy. You're right, you can. The thing that's interesting about Terraria is it knows that it's easy at the beginning, and it's going to get harder. So we've entered the evil area, as represented by these guys. We've got little corruptors, they're called. Ooh, that jump. Well, not corruptors, sorry, eaters of souls. Definitely living up to the name there. Soul was completely eaten by that. Dropped the 16 silver, like a lemon. if we have a look at some of the options whilst it's getting to night time of what we can build, because we know we're going to probably be attacked soon by some zombies. Let's get a tiki torch, pop you outside, give me some light. Bunny, if you want to come inside, you will eventually die if you do stay out there. Pop a tiki torch out here as well. What else can we make? Oh, we can make a campfire. Life regen is increased when near a campfire. Let's take advantage of that. Probably going to need some life regen. That's... oh, so you see the music change? That is now letting you know that we've entered the night. And straight away we have a flying enemy. That is called a demon eye. If that touches me, probably going to do a lot of damage. I think the guide is doing an awesome job right now of shooting him with an arrow. I'm not doing so good with my short sword. Wow, 51 damage. Almost over half my health. So the guy, usually when it's night time, your NPCs that are part of the game, they will make their way to a home. They don't want to stay outside. You might have some little glitchy moments where they're trying their best to stay outside and you think, God, just get inside. But yeah, most of the time they will start making their way. We're also going to take this opportunity to make that wood armour that we talked about. It is weak, but better to have something than nothing. I'm also going to join Wyatt in the bow and arrow club because it's better to shoot things from a distance. Now, in order to shoot, I'm going to need arrows, and I have no arrows as it stands because I believe in order to make arrows you need a combination of wood and stone. So we're going to harvest a bit more wood. Ooh, falling stars. We're going to be going back for that in a second. And I want to just find some stone. You'll know stone when you see it. Just get a bit more wood for these arrows. Yep, you will know stone when you see it. Kind of stands out. Let's get one of the torches out, see if I can see a bit. So that is stone just below. See if I can get below and get some of that stone before a zombie comes and destroys me. Stone block, stone block. Here we go. Comes one of the zombies. See if I can do a pro gamer move and jump right over its head. Nope. Nope. I can do a pro loser move, die straight away, drop the coin and give it to the zombie. The equivalent of getting beaten up and giving your lunch money to a zombie bully. Quite ridiculous. Fallen star though, silver linings and all that. So we have now got enough ingredients to make wooden arrows. They're coming back to 25, which is awesome. Make a ton of those. 300 arrows. This will allow me to fight some of those enemies at range, which, let's face it, I need to be doing. I'm going to place those sunflowers that I mined before. Probably thinking, why is he doing that? Sunflowers do grant you a tiny speed buff, which, again, probably not as critical on a like journey playthrough, but on master mode I will take any help I can get because you need it. So you notice that little, you probably did notice it, the character's kind of got a fast-paced jog going. Once I'm away from the sunflowers, you'll notice that that fast-paced jog does slow. So I'm also going to just create a hammer. The reason for hammers is they allow you to take care of walls. So you see this wooden, it's not wooden, sorry, it's a dirt wall which is coming out of the ground. That allows you to do that. Okay. So as I'm aware, zombies will struggle for a very long time to get through that. I'm going to take this time to plant my daybloom seeds that I harvested just by attacking daybloom flowers. And what daybloom flowers will allow us to do at a later time is create potions that support our armor and our regeneration. So kind of a tip, that isn't good, is it? A tip would be just whenever you've got daybloom, harvest it first, attack it so you can get the flower, but then also plant those seeds preferably close to your house so that you can harvest them at a later time. we're going to try and find some clay pots. Sorry, clay pots. We're going to try and find some clay blocks so that we can create some clay pots, which will then allow us to garden within them. So I can then create a little garden within a safe space as opposed to going outside to get those flowers. Still good to plant them the moment you can though, because day blooms like to bloom in the day. So hopefully they will be ready to harvest tomorrow morning, which should be awesome. The more flowers the better. Once we get to daytime, so zombies one will stop, they'll all just disappear, and then gonna have a venture right, because we know that to the left that we've got the evil kind of seed area, which is going to make it harder for me to survive in that. But to the right we might have some areas that are a bit safer, maybe even a cavern, which I can have a look at and hopefully take advantage of finding some chests, maybe with some items, and get me with some starter gear. Point of today's stream, because I want to make this episodic, is to kind of achieve something every stream. So if I can achieve just getting like a solid weapon, or even a pretty cool accessory, or maybe, I don't know, finding the beginning of something that sets me off for the following stream, that I will be satisfied with. You know, we're not looking to achieve anything crazy. I want to take this one step at a time so that you know, people who are new to Terraria are interested, but also veterans of Terraria will know what's coming and kind of think, oh god, he's got something coming his way on the next playthrough. So, you know, a bit, something for everyone, which is what I'm going for. You know, I've seen a lot on YouTube, and so I shouldn't have opened that door. Why did I open that door? I don't know why I did that. Wyatt is going to get battered by those zombies, and I was the one who instigated all that. But yeah, I've seen a lot on YouTube and a lot on Twitch as well in regards to Terraria, where people, they stream it and they do really, really awesome stuff. But sometimes I feel like the expectation is a little bit too high, that the streamers kind of expect, wow, that they are. The streamers kind of expect people to know what they're talking about. So I'm going to try my best to do something a little simpler. And I know you can probably just YouTube, you know, everything that a person's talking about and get your understanding there. But I prefer it from a perspective of when I first started, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And I know that if I would have watched YouTube videos and stuff like that, yeah, it would have... Damn it, ghost. See, a ghost has spawned because I hammered away a gravestone. Don't desecrate gravestones, because ghosts will spawn and they will cause you serious harm. They will mug you. They will then leave you penniless. Go on, Wyatt. You've got this. You don't got this, Wyatt. You just don't got this. Okay, so downside for Wyatt, never really liked that guy. Don't know what it was about him. He just had a bad vibe. I don't know if you were feeling it as well. But because Wyatt is now dead, it means that a new guide will have to join the game. And the game does have a random generation of names, so we won't be getting Wyatt back, unfortunately, which, let's face it, you know, Wyatt wasn't the best of them. We'll get a better guide. One who can defend his turf the way it's supposed to be defended. Okay, we're getting close to daytime now, so this is good. This is good. Let's see if I can capture them. Just trap them in there. I don't even think you get much from killing a ghost. I am pretty much just wasting arrows at this point. And you know, veterans are probably going to look at me like, why the hell hasn't he made flaming arrows already? And I'm going to say to you, I forgot. Idiot move. That's why I've not made flaming arrows yet. That is the one thing that I've noticed from just starting streaming. It's stuff that you just don't even think about when you're playing by yourself. You actively forget when you're trying to film it and talk about it and do something whilst you're doing it. So music change, that's good for us. It means that it is now daytime. We got some acorns. Let's plant some trees. Get some more sources of wood for building later. Good for us. Now the daytime is when the game will start to give you your allocation of settlers. So whenever you get a new person who's gonna, you know, move into a house that you've built, it will usually happen in the morning, because that's when the game allows, you know, new characters to join. I think it's because, you know, at night time, if it was to let a person join the game, they'll just die straight away. They'll get killed by a zombie or whatever it be. So it lets them join, you know, nice and early in the morning, so that you can have them move in and all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, I think I may have said something nasty about Wyatt, and the game has taken it harshly, because we have not got a new person to replace Wyatt. But give it time. I'm gonna have a little venture out, and hopefully by the time I get back, we'll have a new guide. I'll also look at creating another house, and then hopefully if we achieve any criteria for new settlers, they'll move straight in, which would be awesome for us. What I've not been doing, and I should have been doing, so for any people again new to the game, you can see below here this little change in the textures. This is an ore. Now you're going to come across lots of ores. Some are so much better than us, and clay, brilliant. We're going to spend a bit of time harvesting this, because this will allow us to make clay pots, which will then allow us to put our seeds in within a confined safe area, and then we've got ourselves a garden, which will then allow us to make potions and buffs and stronger things later. So yeah, you will come across, hey, Bradley, he's just got a better name. I feel like Bradley is definitely, he's up for the challenge. Wyatt, nah, wasn't feeling it. But with what we're talking about, ores, yeah, there are some that are better than others. You will see from the creation of things like weapons and armor which ores are better than others. Of course, you can go on things like Terraria wikis and just look at it yourself and find the information. I really think Terraria is a game that's supposed to emphasize finding stuff out, so I would really only suggest going on guides as a last resort. You know, really try and figure this stuff out, because the game is so much more rewarding when you don't know what's coming, because it's got so many surprises in store for you. It's ridiculous. Like, you think that this, what you're watching right now, is the game. It really isn't. There is so much more to this game. What it's doing right now is trying to be nice with me. It's trying to introduce me to what is ahead. So we've come across our first chest, and inside of here we've got a blowpipe, which is brilliant. That's a ranged weapon. Anything that's ranged is a bonus. We've also got a can of worms. Allows us to do some fishing. Fishing is a love or hate situation in this game. It's a bit like Marmite. I love it. I think fishing is super relaxing. I think it is an awesome thing to do, and the rewards from fishing can be crazy. But some people hate fishing. They don't like the time consumption side of it, and sometimes you can spend ages fishing and not get anything. It's a very random, what's it called, RNG heavy part of the game. You can increase your chances of getting things, but you can't ever guarantee that you're going to find something within whatever you fish for. But still, in my opinion, well worth doing. So this is looking like a really strong cavern, actually. I'm going to leave this cavern. You can see these textures change as well. That's another new ore. I'm going to leave this cavern and keep going. Hopefully harvest some seeds, which I believe we can get seeds just from attacking grass on the floor. Oh, blooming hell, where's my rope? There. Oh, proper Indiana Jones moment there. Did you see that? Slime was coming, I was like, where's the rope? And then finally found it. Just needed the music, but probably copyright reasons won't be able to do that. So let's go up here. Jump over this part, another sunflower. See the speed buff? Up here, nice little happy. Should remind me of one of my other favourite streamers of Terraria. Very heavy on YouTube, and it, you know, makes some amazing videos called Happy Days. He's awesome, absolutely awesome with the quality of his content. He does a lot of guides and a lot of let's plays, and tries to achieve. Oh, I almost did that then. Tries to achieve like beating the game with certain classes and stuff. It really fun to watch. Again, if you're not spending all of your time watching my streams, I would strongly suggest looking at Happy Days. The guy is really cool. So we've got another box, another chest, and inside of here we had some iron bars, We had a violent step stool. I don't think I've ever come across a step stool that's violent, but I'm going to equip that, which allows you to stand on the stool, which I believe allows you to jump a bit higher. Yes, it did. Perfect height, in fact. And music's changed again. What we've entered right now is a jungle biome. I'm using the word biome a lot. I don't know any other word really to describe. Wow, the knockback on this thing is dreadful. The biome, I hope people understand what I'm talking about when I say biome. It's like an area, a specific type of area, with different blocks and a different environment. There we go. So this is the jungle environment. And there's going to be all kinds of new creatures and new enemies. I really should have took that chest. Let's take that chest. We need that for later. Slime has got a torch inside of it. Let's take that. I didn't see that coming. I don't know why I thought I had more health. This stream is going to look terrible. But you know what? Let's keep this going. So, yep, I'm going to go and get that money back, because that was actually a good amount of money. But before I do go, I'm going to place those chests, because what they can allow me to do is just store some items. I can also store some of my money for later. And we'll make use of those chests once we've got some more stuff. Oh, leave me alone, slimes. Easiest enemy in the game, and I'm getting my backside handed to me. Well, you're watching me thinking, yep, this guy does not know what he's doing. So I'm just axing away, because these will give me seeds. Probably better do this, get a wider arc, I think. And then that gives me something to shoot with. And look, there we go, still awesome shot then. I'm going to try and cut the other two shots out so it looks like a clear just shot, bam bam. I don't know whether it's better or worse than the wooden bow. Pretty much the same. I guess I've got it as just as a spare. The flaming arrows do have the extra benefit of setting the enemies on fire, and then they do like continuous damage. I think it's 1 every second or something like that. You have my money, I'm sure. Yes, you did. Awesome. Now, one thing we have come across is these things called recall potions. These are invaluable at the beginning of the game because they allow you to jump straight back to your starting spot. So if I come into danger again, I'm going to put those up there. I'm going to just drink that recall potion and boom, it'll take me straight back to... Where's the road? Straight back to my home at the beginning. Which, again, will save me losing all of that cash that I've accumulated. Let's keep this going. Hopefully Jungle Bat doesn't... Oh, for God's sake, straight away. As soon as I said Jungle Bat, it's like it hurt me. Like, yeah, you called? Let's have a look. Break some of these, just get some random stuff out of here. Jungle is actually my favourite of all biomes. I love the jungle. But the downside to the jungle is its difficulty is much higher of most of the biomes. So like snow biomes are a bit nicer. Desert biomes are forgiving if you're on the top of them. Inside it can get a little bit messy. But jungle biomes are pretty much nasty all around. So I'm going to try and get to this area here. I believe this is rubies. These are gems. Very valuable and very useful. But I don't want this guy killing me. So let's see if I can just end this Snatcher's life before I go down there. Done. Okay. Let's pickaxe away. Brilliant, rubies. So yeah, rubies have multiple uses in the game. You can use them to create magic weapons. I think there is a ruby staff which shoots like a bolt of energy, like at the enemies, which I'm going to try and get my hands on. Okay, this was a bad idea coming down here. Yeah, let's head on out. This is looking too dangerous for Nafleone. Let's jump on out. You're going to see that a lot. You know, if you're looking for a streamer that just takes on danger and jumps straight in. Not this guy. I'm going to play it safe most of the time when it's master mode. Until, you know, I've got some decent gear, and then you'll see that I take more risks because I'll have the safety behind me of that gear. This bat is an intelligent one. I'm not liking him. You know when you can kind of foresee that you're going to die? Anyone ever get that? Foresight. That bat was persistent. I think that bat got the memo that I was doing something today. And he was like, you know what, let's ruin it. Let's jump in, let's see if we can ruin this guy's life. Okay, let's climb on out. Looking good. Okay. I might also just jump out, you know. That's some rope, that's fine. I can climb. Right, so hopefully I can get out of the jungle biome without dying. Fingers across there. And that will then lead to potentially more caverns. On either side, far ends of the map, you have the ocean. And with ocean biomes or ocean environments, you have the chance for chests to spawn under the ocean. So you can go for a little swim. Go away, bat. Don't want to deal with you right now. I'm serious. Back up. And inside those ocean chests you can get some pretty good gear, especially like as a starter. It can be like very good, in fact. Come on, Nathan, you got this. Nathan, you don't got this. Don't let this bat make a mockery of you. Drink a potion. All you gotta do is grab the rope. That's all you gotta do. Just have to grab the rope. That's all I had to do. Well, no, not all I had to do. I had to create more rope to go further up. You can see this is hard. Or you're probably just looking at this going, it's not hard. This guy just doesn't know what he's doing. Promise you. I do, sort of, know what I'm doing. Right, we have got, what was the point to that? We have got some iron bars, we've got some more potions, we've got rubies, we've got worms for fishing, totally clear. We've got flowers. Let's plant the flowers on the other side, just give us that speed buff. There and there. And we've got some ores. Now, I ideally want to create some more rooms and kind of make like a dedicated area for chests. I don't want to just plant it straight in the middle of this guy's home. So I'm going to do that. Wow, 43 minutes, and we have literally built a house, died multiple times, and received some wooden armor. We are doing awesome. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to just mine out below, make another room, and this is going to hopefully be the dedicated room to crafting and storage. So we're going to put in some crafting stuff in there, so like the workbench will pop down there. Excuse me, the workbench will put down there, and any other kind of tools that we would need to use in order to make other things. We'll also put the chests down here, so that once we've made those things, if we need to store them for later, we can pop them straight in, nice and easy. So for now, we'll make like a dedicated split wall down the middle, and we'll have chests on one side and then building stuff on the other. Simple, simple. Make some platforms. Don't open the door. That's asking for trouble right there. We'll hammer you guys away because you're not going to be staying up here, so you might as well come with me. And then we'll start placing the walls down as our border for the next couple of rooms. I don't like to stay quiet. You're going to notice that a lot. but there will be times that I am silent because, unfortunately, I don't have any followers yet, and so a large amount of this... Oh, so let's talk about this. Mana crystals. So at the beginning of the game, you are given a mana star right at the side, and this dictates how much magic you can use. Each magic weapon uses a certain amount of magic, and then once you run out, you have to wait for it to recharge. So you never lose it, but if you've got, let's say, a small amount of mana and a weapon that uses lots of mana, you're only going to get 1 or 2 shot target before you need to wait for it to recharge. That's when you get mana crystals. Now, in order to get mana crystals, you saw before that we collected fallen stars. Once you have fallen stars, you can use crafting stations to make... Oh, actually, you don't need a crafting station. I think you can just make it off the bat. You can make a mana crystal, which then, as it says, permanently increases maximum mana by 20. So if I move that and then use it on the outside, you see it goes from 20 to 40 to 60. Use 2 mana crystals, which is awesome. Let's just double check with Brad. Mr. Bradley, he knows all about this sort of stuff. Requires nothing. You can literally make these right off the bat. So I've got 2 fallen stars. I think you need 3 to make another mana crystal, so we'll keep an eye out for that. We've also got a ruby gem corn as an option to build. Now, you will be coming across, once you delve into those caverns, trees that are made of gems. Yeah, that makes sense. Trees that are made of gems, and you can then take an acorn, combine it with a gem, plant that acorn, make another tree which is then made out of gems. So it's kind of in your best interest from a longevity point of view to make these gem corns. I'm going to be making one because we can then place that tree. I'm not going to make loads because I do want to see what else I can do with these rubies. In fact, let's make use of that now. So one thing I've not covered, Bradley. Right clicking on Bradley, he is your guide. So at the beginning of the game when you don't know what you're doing, he has a help option, and what he does is just by clicking on help, he just gives you lots of options that you can be cracking on with as like as objectives to then get to the next stage. Once you beat certain areas of the game, certain bosses in the game I should say, his help options will become more. So he's always there to give you the next step and to help you. You then have close conversation, you have crafting. Now, you don't know what to do with materials before you've got them, or before you've built anything with them. So in order to find out that information, you can use the guide. And what you would do in this case is you take a material that you've found, you know it's a material because in the description it will say the word material, and then you pop it into his box, which then tells you all of the options that you can build. So I can't just make, let's say, that gem robe, the ruby robe, but it tells you what you need in order to make that. So then you know when you go out and you find, let's say, a robe, to make a ruby robe with 10 of them, and then that allows you to get a piece of clothing. I'm going to be aiming for this guy. So the ruby staff. Made a stupid mistake using that ruby to make a gem corn because I actually had enough gems to make that. Well done, Nathan. But we still needed 10 gold bars and we're nowhere near that. So yeah, that's just an example. You can pop stuff into that box and it will then tell you what you can do or what you need in order to get to the next step. Enough talking, let's crack on with this room, split it in 2 and put it on either side. Yeah, I'll do. Let's make another workbench. So crafting room can be here. Just for now. I'm also going to place some wooden slats down. Just realised. Right, yeah, let's start again. I want to make it 1 more deeper. A bit of a silly mistake there. Lots of fallen stars I have to take advantage of. You'll see why I wanted to make it 1 more deeper in a second. I'm going to go get those stars when I can. Okay, right. So the reason I wanted to make it 1 more deeper is because then when I use platforms, it comes to the top of the door, just like that. And then that should allow us to place. Yeah, that's brilliant. Awesome. So for now, we'll just pop a door down and pop you there. And a door. And we want to move this dirt wall in the background and turn it into a wooden wall. I mean, you don't have to. You could make stone walls if you wanted to. I'm just partial to the wooden effect. I think it looks really cool. Now, we talked before about the requirements needed to act as a house. So we needed walls, a table, a chair, and a light source. So because the room next to it has a table already in the form of a workbench. Need some more wood. Wooden wall. I need to make a wooden wall. I can make a chair. Pop you down there. Make some more walls. Need to make sure I get those before daybreak. Unfortunately, if you do not pick up stars before day, they do fizzle, disappear, and then they're gone. Oh wow, made a bit of a mistake there, haven't I? I'll adjust that later, that's all fine. So let's pick these up. Looking at the requirements then, we've got the table, we've got the chair. All we need now is a light source, which in this case can be a torch. And now that's classed as a room. Someone can move into that. We can test it. So a housing query. This room is too small. Oh, Nathan. The room is too small because of these platforms. So, I'm going to go back on everything I've done up to now. There we go, housing is suitable. You can see I'm not planning this because things just continuously go wrong and it's all my fault. We've now got these two chests which I can just start filling with stuff. I'm going to make a couple more mana crystals. I should go and get that star that's out there. And that star that's out there. Afraid of opening the door though. So, what we'll do, we shall make ourselves a trapdoor. Put it in the ceiling. That should allow us to get in and out. Yes, it shall. Let's go. Boom. Use my stool, jump. Stool, jump. Where is my bow when I need it? There we go. Okay, cool. Oh, don't you think you're going anywhere, Mr. Slime? Rightio. So, we now have... What have we got? We got 2 stars. I'm going to start putting a few things in these boxes. Copper bars. What else have we got? We got rubies. Pop the worms in there. We don't need those right now. Daybloom seeds I'm going to plant. Might as well get some daybloom flowers sprouting where we can. Anywhere's a bonus. What we're also going to try and pay attention to once we get there is in the sand desert biome, a desert environment, you can obviously mine the sand blocks, and then if you have a furnace, which is going to be the next thing that we try and create, potentially on our next stream, once you've got a furnace, you can turn sand into glass, and then you can start making some windows, so that these don't just look like a warehouse. that you have some real personality going for some of these houses, which is what I believe we'll get cracking on the next stream. But maybe just, oh, that's going to frustrate me if I see that. Where have you gone, Mr. Hammer? There you are. Cool. If we find some stone, we can have a go at making a furnace now. I know there's stone over there, but I didn't really want to mine here, but this is fine. We'll refill the dirt. Okay. So, whilst we're making this furnace, so there's a couple of things that we've achieved today. I'll say the word achieved as if it's real. We've done a lot today. We've got ourselves a few items that are going to help us. Things like torches, things like gems, just to begin with. We've got ourselves a house, which is definitely going to be valuable for keeping those zombies out. And we'll get to that later, that's fine. And now we've also got ourselves, what I'm going to do just to save myself some time, let's use this one. We've also got ourselves furnace, which is going to help with making bars. So you will come across ore. In order to turn ore into bars that can then be used to make things like armor and weapons, you use the furnace to then turn those into bars. So we've got 3 iron bars just here. Pretty sure we had more than that. I thought we picked up more iron. I'm losing my mind. We didn't pick up any more iron. We'll also turn the copper into copper bars. And there is nothing else we need to make right now, other than maybe some more flaming arrows. Cool. And some more normal arrows. Yeah, cool. So, on that note, this is where we are going to call it for the first stream. So much obviously has happened, so much has gone wrong during this first stream, but it's also kind of representing just how difficult it can be to begin with on master mode. You know, it can really throw some difficulty at you, and that's not going to deter me. I'm going to be coming back stronger than ever to take on the continuous challenges this game is going to give me in the next stream, the stream after that, stream after that. If we just suggest that this stream was, I was trying to think what we actually covered. It was an introduction to Billy Bob's life and the difficulty that Billy Bob's going to go through. If that's not enough to tune into the next episode, I don't know what is. Billy Bob needs viewers. But the point of the next stream will be for us to branch out a bit further. We're going to explore our first cavern. We're going to have a look and see if we can find some chests with maybe some weapons or some accessories inside of there, and maybe even make a couple more houses for the foreseeable NPCs that will then move in. Who knows, we might even get a glimpse of the first boss, which on master mode is going to be a nightmare. So this will be uploaded to both Twitch and to YouTube. Again, 0 followers, so not really sure how that's going to land and whether anyone's actually going to see it. Not great at the social media side of it as well, I'm just being completely honest with you. So yeah, if anyone does end up watching this, I guess what I'm asking is that instead of all that streamer stuff, like and subscribe, I would much prefer if you gave a comment actually suggesting things that you would like to see, or things that if you've just kind of clicked with my personality side of it and you think that you could actually watch me, things that might help me, because I am brand new to streaming and I actually really enjoy and get excited about doing this, even when things go completely wrong like they have today. So it would be really great if you do end up coming across this video, you do watch it, just give me an idea of what you think via the comment section. That would be awesome, and I can then learn from it and get better. But for now, Billy Bob is just going to say today's sucked, and we're going to crack on with another one. hopefully in the next couple of days. So I'll try and put that next video together in the next couple of days and then upload it from there. But they'll always be live streamed first on Twitch, and then they'll be uploaded to YouTube afterwards. So if you have been interested by this and you want to follow me more, it's Nathlioni at twitch.tv. So that's just NATHLIONI. God, I'm tired tonight. So tired. Nathlioni. Come and say hi. It'd be awesome to have people in the background just, you know, talking and asking questions and even berating me as I get things wrong. That would be so awesome. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.